worry.
Don't worry, I'm gonna hang up on you anyway.
I know you will.
All right, we've been live for 5 seconds, bantering back and forth. So, everybody, this is Football Psych, and I'm Coach Man Mike.
It's Lord Sarge!
And this good old Shaq.
Good old Shaq and Lord Sarge, man. Welcome to tonight, everybody. Those that are coming on board, appreciate y'all joining us. As a friendly reminder, this is a participation sport, so we want to hear your comments as you guys get going here. Give us your comments in the comment section. We will be more than happy. This is live, and so we will answer your questions. Go ahead, Lord Sarge.
Coach, you gonna be late to your own wedding?
I'm already married,
You
dude.
get the game ball today. Here's the game ball, Coach. Get ready.
Oh, I'm gonna game ball for messing up. Hey, that's pretty good. Oh. Man, that's better than the what was it? The Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary from hundreds of miles away.
Hundreds of miles away, man. And I got it without a deflection.
Yep.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Oh my goodness, guys. Well, hey, man, we pulled out a squeaker. What do you think about that, Lord Sarge?
I'm actually gonna pass that to the Shakur. I'll come back.
I'm gonna tell you this. The game, first half, stellar. Okay. Offensive line gave up too many sacks. You see what my name is this week? The offensive line sucks. We gave up 8.5 sacks this game. 8.5 sacks. So no, second half, there were no adjustments. The refs was stopping the clock. I don't know if anybody paid attention to it, but when the Saints got to the goal line, the referees just stopped the clock with 8 seconds instead of letting it run. They stopped the clock with 8 seconds and let them get their play on. So that's one thing that nobody's talking about. But the defense was a no-show in the second half for the most part. The offense was horrible in the second half. Offensive line, terrible. Chase Young looked like a legit second-round pick. I mean, number 2 pick in this game. He did. Him and Cam Jordan had a field day. No, this team does not look playoff ready. I don't know what they did over the bye week, but they better figure it out because we got the Eagles coming in town.
Well, hey, I want to talk about those edge rushers here real quick because, first of all, like the big thing about the edge rushers is Jordan Cameron is like the real deal. And then when you get him across a developing Chase Young, we said this before, you got to take time to actually develop players. And one thing I didn't like about the Redskins work with Montez Sweat and Chase Young is they never really both got on the field together that much. And when they did, they got traded. So it's just like we never really had a chance during that whole time to really see the bookend tight ends be everything that we expected them to be. We gave up on. So like one of the things that we've got to, one of the things we got to do moving forward is I hope, like all the stink of Ron Rivera is out the window, and when Dan Quinn builds this team, he actually allows players the opportunity to develop.
Well, all of Ron Rivera's first-round picks are gone.
Yeah, that's true. They're all gone.
They all gone. Every single one of them is gone. Forbes was the last one.
All right, gentlemen. So here's my picture. As you know, I have to work at my local liquor shop on Sundays, so I get to listen to the game instead of watch it. And as such, I decided to meet my old friend George Dickel. Gosh,
you need to stop giving free sponsors on all these liquor, man.
Tonight's show is George Dickel 12 years.
No, man, you can't do that, man. You give more alcohol-free sponsors than anybody else I know, and they never gave up a penny.
I'm telling you, but George and the family came through for us. Now I got it on my little teeny tiny little like a mini speaker right up front in the store because I got busted for having the game on in front of the store because people didn't appreciate me watching the Commanders and called state government and complained on me. So now I'm cheating the system by using a little speaker. So I'm listening to the game, and when I get a text on the phone back in the back office, it goes and this is for 2.5 hours. These two guys, I couldn't hear the game. I'm like, oh my God, it must be horrible. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's not horrible. We're winning. At halftime, we look good. In the second half, I'm like, Did he hear you, Dia? Did he hear you when I got to read your comments? Was like, we had the most. I'm going to tell you, I watched the coach's film today, and we did not have a bad game. Chase Young had a stellar game. We got sacked too often, and Jaden Daniels ran too daggum much. He had half the carries in the game, had 11 carries on design runs.
Now, I'm going to tell you this right now.
That was what I saw. Yeah, the O-line needs help. Yeah, other people needed help, but we actually played a pretty consistent game. And while I was thinking, watching the review in your comments, that we failed to plan and planned to fail for the second half, didn't make adjustments to counter them because we pretty much owned the first half. It didn't look as bad as you were saying. When I'm watching this, I was like, this ain't bad. That guy, that new quarterback is just throwing dimes.
So let me in what NFL game in the history of any NFL game where offense giving them 8 sacks is good?
Totally agree with you. It's not. Totally
It's not. So what are you talking about?
but I'm not going to criticize the offensive line. I'm going to criticize Jaden Daniels for holding onto the ball too dadgum long.
He was moving outside of the pocket.
There were multiple chances for him to throw it away, get rid of it, and he didn't. He tried to hold it and make a play and got sacked.
He did. Now there were times I felt like there were times I felt like he should have got rid of the ball. Yes, when he rolled outside the pocket, there were times.
The opposing quarterback did, and he looked better because of it. He knew when to throw it away.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's a fine line between, looking downfield and going through your read of progressions and then throwing the ball away, right? It's a very fine line because you're talking about sometimes a half of a second to a second and a half, right? So it is sometimes very, very hard to judge that. And it's a feel thing, right? So, like, again, it's a rookie quarterback trying to figure out his envelopes of what he can push and what he can't. But I would have to agree with you, Shaq, when it comes to giving up the amount of sacks, right? Because at this point of the season, right, we are trying to compete to get into the playoffs. And if you're going to go get into the playoffs, you're going to go against top edge rushers every week in every one of those games. You don't make it to that level without getting serious pressure. And if that O-line cannot hold up, we are not going to be able to sustain drives.
Yep. And I'm telling you, and Hayward is already an all-pro NFL guy, right? We already know Hayward's an all-pro NFL guy. But I am telling you right now, the Chase Young that showed up against the Commanders yesterday looked like rookie year Chase Young. And you see how he bulked up. He looked like a defensive end now. He is bulked up.
You know what I think he's developing, right? So, like, they've got good coaching, apparently in New Orleans, that's developing that defensive line because they look really good. And I think the mentorship, I mean, he's had good mentors coming up. Like when he first came on board, he had Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, he had Montez Sweat to learn from. He had those kind of things. And then he went to San Francisco. He had Nick Bosa for a part of the year. And then now he's got Cameron Jordan. So he's got the right kind of players to help bring him along. There's really no excuses for him. He's either got to shine or he's not going to be in the league much longer.
I think
and now that he's shining, this could be a great opportunity for New Orleans to say, we might have got a steal here, and let's try to get him to a longer-term deal.
Like we talked about a couple times, Coach, he was lazy, in San Francisco especially. He wasn't motoring. If the play didn't come his way, he quit. He doesn't quit anymore. He chases. Yeah. Chase Young is the chaser now, and it shows up in the stats.
His first sack, that wasn't a pressure sack. He kept going. His motor kept going. As soon as he got back, he chased the play down.
Yep.
So I mean, where was this Chase Young?
I have a feeling
very rich.
I have a feeling in the coach's room when you get into game film, he got called out.
Oh,
let's look at your history of film and let me show you how I want you to play this position. And you either going to have to get to this level, and Jordan Cameron's going to show you how to get to that level, or you're not going to be here very long.
You're going
right. But if you can get to this level, here's how you look today. Here's how we want you to look. You move in that direction, you got a future here in New Orleans. Otherwise, NFL stands for not for long, and you aren't going to be here not for long.
The average, fun stat, the average NFL player lasts 3.5 to 4 seasons in the league.
That's right.
Yeah,
this is a make or break season for him.
It's a make or break season for him. So
I think he knows it.
Yeah, that's right. He knows it. Now, with that being said, though, so we're talking about their defensive ends. Dante Fowler had a exceptional game. Dorrance Armstrong actually showed up this game, right? Now, in the second half, they was not stopping the run. Is that middle of the field presence just wasn't there. And Frankie Louvu was mid this game. He missed a few tackles in the clutch. He could have had an interception, just went over his fingertips. Like, there were things. Frankie Louvu looked a little off. Maybe the rest was too much for him. But Bobby Wagner was in there. But the Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler had great games. They did. And Johnny Newton, too. Johnny Newton had a good game. Jeremy
Payne got pressure. He's in the backfield. Yep. I thought the defense, literally, I think they showed up. The Saints just decided to come and play ball.
Yeah, Sanders looked good. They didn't even target Marshawn Lattimore. They didn't even throw the ball in Marshawn Lattimore's direction. He was only targeted one. They only targeted him one time the whole game. And that's what we have on the back end now. We got Sanders, we got them on the back. We need to hone in that front seven.
Can I talk about Marshawn Lattimore for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think it is absolutely telling when his former team refuses to target in his area. You would think that you've gone up against him from practice after practice ever since he's been in the league, that you know his weaknesses and you know how to exploit him. They completely stayed away from him, which means he must be so freaking dangerous that when he's on his game and if other teams try him, it's not going to go very well for him at all.
So I have one question about this, because, man, Mike, is it that he is that dangerous? Is it that he's that dangerous? Or is it the quality of their quarterbacks? They didn't have confidence in Jake Hayner and Spencer Rattler. He's just that dangerous, or they just didn't have no confidence to send have them out throwing the ball his way?
Well, I mean, time will tell, right? When we see him go up against other receivers and when balls get thrown his way, because, moving forward, teams can't play a half a field of football.
I'll tell you something. That was his first start, their quarterback. You know whose name does not appear on the defensive stats at all? To Shaq's point, Lattimore. He doesn't have a single stat all game. They game planned away from him.
That's right.
So
they were afraid of him.
And that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted.
I understand that, but what does that say about the rest of our secondary? If they know they can target everywhere else, they know this guy, but they target it everywhere else. What does that say about the rest of the secondary?
Oh yeah, we've known all along our secondary's been garbage, just like we know all along our offensive line's garbage.
Wait, right? Secondary's garbage. Jeremy Chin had 5 solo tackles. 5.
Jeremy Chin got hurt, and he may not play this week.
Yeah, that's true. Armstrong had 3. Sanders still had 2. Forrest, who we never hear his name, had 3.
Yeah. Well, if Jeremy Chin didn't get hurt, Derek Forrest wouldn't touch the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Butler's out there too a little bit, and he doesn't really do much of anything. I mean, it's really Sinisterl is the only one out there doing anything.
In Naga Hingaby, Hingaby had a couple good plays. Hingaby, whatever his name is, he had a bunch. He had a couple good defensive breakups and stuff like that as well. You know what I'm saying? So I can't completely crap on the secondary, but it's still not gelling together. Especially after Jeremy Chin left the game, like the threat of hitting receivers and stuff, that was gone. People are starting to play away from Jeremy Chin as well, because he's been out there laying lumber all season.
But we got to give a shout out to our good old boy Jack Miller. We love having you every single week, my brother. Appreciate your loyalty and keep coming on back. And man, he is on it too, man. Like St. Juiced, he's tearing St. Juiced up. But like, St. Juiced. Let's just face it, he's not. I mean, he was probably a B- player last year. I don't think he's improved at all.
No, he didn't. He wasn't a B- player. He was getting cooked just like this year. So this is my thing right here. So he's in the NFL. So he's in the upper echelons of the sport. So we can't completely take a dump on him.
But you want to give him a B-?
No, absolutely not. But in the NFL, this man is not nobody's starting cornerback. Never has been. Never has been. C grade at best. for me.
Okay.
Well, we
I'll stick with the B minus, but
defensively, we had 3 sacks, and we had 1 sack from each level of the D. Deron Payne got on 1, Armstrong got on 1, and Chin got on 1. So for what we had on the field, and Lattimore being new to the system, they just decided not to even go to him. And I think the defense did show up. I think they were playing an away game in a hostile stadium, with some verve, and the Saints were making plays. The Saints were actually there was some incredible football coming out of that quarterback and some of the receptions.
Well, here's my issue with the defense.
Okay,
let me give you my issue with the defense. This is typical Dan Quinn defense. He doesn't make adjustments.
Yeah.
He didn't do it in Atlanta. He didn't do it in Dallas, and he ain't doing it here.
Yeah.
Where, you can see who makes adjustments at halftime and who doesn't, right? We were up 14-0. What happened in the second half? We let them right back into the game. And then when we start getting down, I saw this in the playoff game in Dallas last year too. When he gets in there, he starts getting his butt kicked, he chokes. He doesn't make a single adjustment. He just lets them keep on doing it to him. And you know what? And then the second half, I saw the same garbage. Okay, they're kicking our butt. What are you going to do, Dan Quinn? Nothing.
And then it's not solely Dan Quinn. And I'm going to tell you this. It's not solely Dan Quinn, because there was no offensive adjustments made either. If you know the offensive line is suffering against their defensive front, why are we not bringing extra tight ends in? Why are we not doing jumbo packages for protection?
Yeah. Why I say it's Dan Quinn, because he should be on defensively. He should be getting on Joe Witt defensively. Yeah. And Dan Quinn should be getting on Cliff Kingsbury offensively. The head coach has got to step in and go, guys, what y'all doing is not working. You've each had 2 or 3 series. Hey, what are y'all going to do differently this series?
But gentlemen,
right?
I know it looked ugly. I get it. It looked ugly. But overall, we held the Saints to 69 yards rushing. Now, that might have been more if Kamara hadn't gotten knocked out of the game, right?
I was about to say, yep, he got injured.
And there was only 176 yards passing. That doesn't show up in the score, right? Because they got some scores. But stat-wise, it looks like a great game for the D. One of our better games on the stat line.
Well, I can tell you right now, playing the way we played against the Saints, if the playoffs were to end today, we would be playing the Eagles. If the Packers lose next week, we beat the Eagles, we're going to be playing the Rams. We cannot play the way we played against the Saints, against the Eagles or the Rams. Simply put, especially not the Eagles. The Eagles, right? The way we look this week, we are not going to beat the Eagles on Sunday here in Washington. The way we look this Sunday.
I agree with you, but here's the deal about this coming Sunday's game. This really is a playoff preview.
Yes.
I mean, if we go in there and we get our butt stomped, we might as well not even go to the playoffs, because we won't make it. We'll get our playoff game, but we'll be a one and done.
It's gonna be a first round game in Philadelphia with a hostile crowd, with a team that's right now that's on a 10 or 11 game winning streak.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Hey, this Philadelphia team,
the Steelers.
I'm telling you right now, this Philadelphia team.
It was actually a very close game until halftime. And then Jalen Hurts came out of nowhere in the second half and put the game away.
But
it was actually a 3-point game at halftime. The Steelers were in.
But to your point, Large Sarge, we're horrible in the second half, and if they get on fire in the second half like that, they beat us every time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
In the first meetup when we played the Eagles, first half, low scoring game, good go. What happened? Second half, Saquon Barkley came to life. Jalen Hurts started picking the defense apart. Defense was tied on the field. No offensive adjustments. We cannot do that move forward. Every game that we have moved forward is a must-win game. We have teams that are on our heels right now. Seattle's out the playoffs now, but they're on our heels. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers, the Falcons are on our heels. When we play the Falcons, we have to beat the Falcons. It's non-negotiable.
Oh, yeah.
We have to beat the Cowboys. This Eagles game is a must-win for us. But right now, the way this team's looking, I just don't feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah. So
can I take a quick intermission? Quick intermission. For those that are watching the show, we surely appreciate you all chiming in. Please put your comments in the comment section. We want to hear from you, and we want to be able to respond to your comments. This is a participation sport, so we want you to participate. not just watch along. So come on. All right, Larsard, you were about to say something.
Yeah, Coach. So we talked a lot of D there. We know what we got in front of us. Let's talk some offense. I'd like to hear from you there, Coach, and you, Shaq. What were your highlights from the offense this week? What not the lowlights, but the highlights? What did you see that you liked?
Oh, well, I'm gonna say this, right? I like the consistency with Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin connection. I love the consistency. They're becoming a dual threat now. And I say this, I'm so happy for Terry McLaurin. I'm gonna say this every week. He finally has a quarterback that's going to use his God-given talents. And I'm happy for Terry McLaurin and seeing how he's flourishing with Jay McDaniels. Right now, he looks like a top tier receiver that we know he is. Right now, he is looking like that. Right?
Last two games.
And the whole season, he's looked great. Terry McLaurin's looked great the whole season.
I'm talking about the duo hooking up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Number of attempts versus completions, right?
Yep. So now I love the duo. I love how we got B-Rob going, but it looked like B-Rob was still kind of hurt. So it was like because we started seeing a lot of Chris Rodriguez and McNichols and stuff like that. That's something that backfield is going to be something we have to address in the offseason. Y'all boy Jamison Crowder had a couple plays out there. Y'all boy, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I wanted to hear.
But
come off IR and make a couple plays. That's what I'm talking about.
Made a couple plays, but on the offensive side of the ball, the weak link in this offense, besides that offensive line,
no weak links, just highs. We'll do weeks. No weeks yet. Just high points.
I would say, high points is the Jaden Daniels Terry McLaurin connection.
Coach,
to me,
what was your opinion?
I think he nailed it. That was the only high point offensively. There was no other high point other than that. If you're looking for a second one, I ain't got one for you. I mean, that was.
You had it. I got nothing to say.
I mean, I could kind of say that Jaden Daniels not turning the ball over was a high point, but what I'm most impressed of is what Shaq said. It was the connection with Terry McLaurin. Now, I would obviously like to see him connect with other players and stuff like that, but there was no other high point offensively.
The other receivers weren't creating any space. De'Ami Brown had a couple catches, but they weren't creating any space for him. Only the receiver that was creating separation was Terry McLaurin.
Larsard, what do you think?
So I'm definitely going to tell you, Crowder being on the field was a definite high point, and
a high point.
Yeah, absolutely, and a game changer because he was he was a game changer for him because I think having Crowder there broke McLaurin open. The second thing is. In terms of, and you know how we've been bagging on the offensive coordinator about his play calling, Daniels hit 10 different targets the entire game. 10. So the ball was moving around. McLaurin had the number 1 yards, and 4 of the receivers had 27 or more. So there were balls being thrown. Again, it was a really interesting game. When you watch the coach's film, it's like they're actually out there really working. But are we getting the production out of the work, right? It was one of those games. There was a lot of work going on.
Last time, we're not about to slide past this Jamison Crowder thing you just said. We are not about to slide past that he was a game changer. Man, cut it out.
I'm not doing that. I'm not going there. I'm not going there at all. And when you tell me, it's a high point that somebody got over 27 yards, I got to get 27 yards on one catch.
It's not necessarily the Crowder only caught 3 balls for 27. It's that Crowder was on the field as first time back, and that means the D had to adjust against it. I think McLaurin got open more because Crowder was there. I think he was that unknown influence in the passing game for us there that helped Daniels connect with McLaurin. That's my opinion.
I'm giving a lot of credit because between Zacchaeus, De'Ami Brown, and Jamison Crowder, they all had 3 receptions apiece. They were rotating in and out. They were pedestrian at best.
And Crowder showed up on special teams as well and had very good.
I got that, but there was nothing great about that either. I would just say, like, I think what it is I think it's probably because of just the number of reps and their timing starting to get there. When you have a good dual threat tandem that does it, it's because the timing is starting to develop
100%,
there.
100%.
So I think that's more of that. Terry McLaurin's going like, hey, man, they're probably getting extra reps after practice. Let's get our timing down. And I think that's why you're starting to see the improvement. I still don't see a number 2 receiver on this team.
Nope.
Let's talk about the low lights on the offense.
No, but before we get to that, Larson, and then one more thing though, right? Since we're talking about this, I still don't know why we haven't made the move, but we do need a legitimate number 2. Yeah. We do. And Michael Thomas is still out there. Odell Beckham just got released.
That's right.
Like, and even though he's not the same Odell Beckham from years ago, he is still a credible threat on the football field.
He's better than what we got.
He's better than what we got.
He'd help stretch the field, right?
Come on, man.
So Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, we know you watch this show. Go sign Odell Beckham. Go get Mike Thomas.
I like Michael Thomas better. I think Thomas is a better threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely a better route runner.
All right, Jack. So offensive lowlights. Where did you see we need to pick up our game?
The offensive line. The offensive line was terrible. Terrible. I'm talking about I don't think I could give them a grade low enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I cannot get them a grade low enough. Like, we got the A through F scale. They under there, like I would kick them out of class. You understand me? Like the performance was terrible. Low points. The offensive line. There was zero ground game. Zero ground game. The second half there was zero ground game. Jack said it in the chat, and I agree with Jack in the chat. Mm-hmm. It was zero ground game in the second half. I was like, what is going on? They try to get Rodriguez going. They try to get McNichols going. It's just like, and B. Rob has started to become he's started to become consistently injured this year. When we look in in these weekly waivers, we need to be looking to fill that slot for another young, hungry fall forward running back. Because right now, B. Rob is banged up, and I don't think he's going to. If we do make it to the playoffs, we're not going to get 100% B. Rob. We're not, and there's no fallback plan for him. So,
all right, Coach. Hey, what were your lowlights there? I think that's good, Dio. What were your lowlights, Coach?
So I will start off with the tight end room. They suck this week. Everybody in the tight end room. Wait. Absolutely atrocious. Zach Ertz, Vince Sennett, freaking John Bates. None of them did a freaking darn thing. They were absolutely horrific. I think between all of them, the entire tight end room probably had four receptions combined. It was like absolutely pathetic what we saw out of them. They were basically ineffective all the way around, and that's supposed to be your dump-off target. And what I saw there was garbage.
They had 5.
Five targets. I'm telling you, your starter should have 5. So, that to me is pathetic. The next low life I will say is Luke McCaffrey. We've been so high on him other weeks. That dude has been steadily declining week after week and becoming more and more irrelevant. Wow. I think he had a reception. And I don't even think it was freaking worth anything. So, what the flip is he doing? Where is he at?
Special teams. He's on special teams. They put him back on pumpkin kickoff.
That's because he sucks on offense.
Because he sucks on offense.
So the next thing I'm going to say, is I'll say the O-line, and I will call out a couple people here. Aguilera, absolute garbage.
Oh, Allegretti. Yeah.
Not only does he get burnt on a lot of plays, but then he causes all kinds of penalties too.
Yeah.
This team had a buttload of penalties on that offensive line, holding left and right. Now I expected out of Brandon Coleman on left tackle when you're going up against a Pro Bowl stellar guy like Cameron Jordan. That dude was school was in session for that young man. So I get it. Yeah. On the other side against Chase Young, when you're going up against Wiley, where were you at, Wiley?
Yeah. And Badias didn't play. That's another thing. But Badias didn't play, and neither did I don't think Sam Cosby played either because Cornelius Lucas was on the right side in this game.
Yeah, he was on the right side, and it's just this O line. You nailed it. There's Shaq. This O line is just sorry right now, and they're going to have to really get together as a team and freaking pick that up, because when playoff football comes along, that thing is going to they're going to be coming. They're going to be coming hard, and you better be ready. You got 3 weeks to figure it out.
Playoff football is now. That's what I was getting at earlier. Playoff football is now. Like these games,
they lost this week in my estimate. They completely lost this week.
Yeah,
offensive line wise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Playoff football is now. We have to be in the mindset that it is time. This is the push right here. We Dan Quinn and them had to make adjustments. This is the push. Right now, these last 4 games is the push. We want to go to the playoffs. I'm not going to be disappointed if we miss the playoffs. I'm going to tell you why. Because we won more games than I expected. I'm going to be happy for that.
Large Sarge called it. Congratulations, Large Sarge.
Large Sarge.
Baking the glory, baby. Baking the glory. So
I'll have a sip to that.
I think Jack Miller said 11 or something, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
What was it, Jack? Did you say 11?
He did.
I think he said 11.
So, gentlemen, I'm not going to disagree with what you said about the line. All right, in my opinion, the biggest mistakes on the offensive line, there was 2 contributing factors of them looking like dog poo. One was Jaden Daniels holding on to the ball too long. I saw 4 individual plays where he should have thrown away. He had the time to throw away, and he held it. Okay, took 4 sacks. That's not on the O-line. That's on him not executing and reading well, okay? O-line did their best, and they got pushed, right? They got pushed. The second thing that I saw that was a low light was our run game was non-existent. Yeah. Non-existent. Jaden Daniels had what was the stat? 66 yards rushing? Jaden McDaniels had 66 yards, and Brian Robinson had 65. Our quarterback was the number 1 rushing back again.
Well, we talked about this last week. I think we talked about it the past few weeks, actually. Brian Robinson is the only running back on this team.
Yeah.
He really is. And he's not 100%. So, I mean, when you're only rushing 3.2 yards per carry, listen, he could fall forward more than 3.2 yards a carry when he's healthy. He is not healthy right now.
Coach, he got 21 touches. McNichols only got 2, and Rodriguez got 1. So if he's not that strong, why are you playing him that hard?
He's all you got.
Let him be your 3rd down power guy when you need to get 2 yards to get across. Use him in that capacity, and use your 2 scat backs to try to get around the edge. Use them more.
They're not good enough. They're just not good enough. When you're going up against the Saints with these edge rushers, they'll contain him. They're not going to get to the outside on those. They're just not good enough. Shaq said this last week. In the offseason, we're going to need to draft another running back.
We are.
And I agree with Shaq, right? Yeah. There's like if we bring back any of these running backs, right? They're probably going to be in the 3rd string position, because we need to get a good, healthy option behind Brian Robinson to get a good, real because Austin Eckler, he ain't it.
I was about to say, Austin Eckler should be back he should be back by the Atlanta game.
I hope
should
so.
Be.
Yeah.
All right, both of you, I got to take issue with both of you here again. Both of you said McCaffrey was a low light, and he wasn't good enough to be on the starting team. Well, on offense, he only had 1 target and didn't get it. He only had 1. I can't evaluate a guy on 1. He had 3 returns for 86 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of times, let's do it like this, right? So as a receiver, right? As a receiver, your job is to do what? Go out there, run your route, create separation from the defensive backs, right? If he was getting, Jaden Daniels has a good eye for the field. If he was getting open, he would be receiving the ball. He's not getting open. None of the other receivers are, unless their quarterbacks are being picked. A lot of these pick plays that we run and stuff, that's what frees up our guys, except for the tight ends and Terry McLaurin. Mm-hmm. So again, he's not doing his job to get free.
Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody's doing something to spring McLaurin free, other than McLaurin being so fast. You know what I mean? Because last 2 games, it looks like a different Daniels McLaurin duo, right? Yeah. We've been complaining about McLaurin not getting the ball, not getting any reads, and we couldn't figure it out. Last 2 games, all of a sudden, those 2 started connecting a lot. So something is happening with the receiving core. I also thought there was not enough targets. Ben Sinnott, to Jack's point, is not getting enough targets.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz is a power player.
Let me talk to that.
Getting enough targets.
Let me
setting
speak
Daniels
to
up
that.
for that relief.
Yeah, let me speak to that. So, and this kind of dovetails on what Shaq was saying. When you get your opportunities and you get your reps on the field, right, you would have to go back and study the film. How many plays were they in the game?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you were in there 25 plays, but you were only targeted once, that tells me you're not getting any separation. You're not getting open, and Jane Daniels can't trust throwing you the ball.
Yep.
You just out there doing cardio, right?
Yep.
So, but here's the other part of that. How do you get targets on game day? You earn them through the week by showing up in practice and showing your coaching staff during game plan development and game plan rehearsal and execution that I am a guy on this particular route. You get it to me because it's being game planned that way. And if you're not stepping up in practice, showing your coaching staff you can do it, you're not getting the reps on game day.
Yep, that's right,
Coach. I get it.
Yep, and John Bates did have a clutch first down catch. I do give him that.
Yes, right? He did.
He did have one
targeted once and got one ball in, and they never went back to him.
Never went back to him. John Bates is a blocking guy anyway.
That's right. He's not him getting one catch is normal for him.
Yeah,
but it's not normal for Zach Ertz, and it shouldn't be normal for Ben Sinnott.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It would be nice for us to draft Ashton Jeanty and get us a running back for there would be a dual head monster with B-Rob, like something like they got up in Detroit with Sonic and Knuckles. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to have that. But I know for a fact, and this is me looking at our offense right now. The primary focus for this offense right now, going into the offseason, because I know we're going to talk about this once the season ends, should be offensive line and that receiving room. Mm-hmm. Primary, those should be the top two priorities for this team. Period.
I think we told them they needed a tackle at the beginning of the year, and it never happened, and now it's showing up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like how Jack said in his chat there. He was chatting with other people that in the later rounds we need a kicker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm from Zane Gonzalez. Alson Siebert is out. Zane Gonzalez.
We're on like our 10th or 11th kicker by now this year.
Yeah.
I've lost count, man. I've lost count.
You know, the whole league is.
And none of them can kick a freaking field goal.
The number of missed kicks across the league this year is way up, even though there's been two standout, 18-point kicker games, right? The overall performance of kickers across the NFL has been horrifying this year.
Yeah, and if I think the Commanders lead in any category, if we're number one in any category, it's missed field goals.
Yeah,
and drop passes.
So Dia,
yep,
you made a point at the top of the show, and I want to come back to that point because I think the result of our low numbers, B-Rob not being 100%, but getting pushed like he is. You had talked about a jumbo set. Would you, with Bates and Sinnott and Ertz, with all that beef, would you like to see as an improvement on the offense a lot of 3 tight end sets on the field to get some extra beef in there to break some holes open?
Well, I can tell you right now, going against the defenses that we are facing here these next 3 weeks, we need that. We need it. I am telling you, we need it going forward. We got Michael Parsons coming. We got Hassan Reddick and them coming up in Philadelphia. The Atlanta's defense has been good. It was actually keeping that team together, right? So Coleman needs help, right? Wiley needs help. These guys need help. At least chip these guys coming up the edge with running backs. You know what I'm saying? Running backs. I would like to see John Bates. You're not a receiver tight end. Get him in there. Zach Ertz, before you're stepping out to run your routes, chip these guys. Man, help you do your due diligence, right?
That's so right.
Do your due diligence. Even
if you don't have a fullback, which we don't, and you're going to use B-Rob, and he's not 110%, and everyone knows he's all you got. There's got to be help coming to get the running game going. There's got to be help on the field somewhere else. You got to beef up what you've got to bust some holes so he can get through.
So this is my thing right here, though, man. I don't know why they don't go. They can go from the they can use McNichols in the capacity of a fullback. I don't know when they get in that pistol formation or shotgun or whatever y'all want to call it, pistol formation. You got McNichols on one side, you put B-Rob on the other side. Boom. play action, run. You open up your offensive playbook, right? Start sending McNichols as the lead, and B-Rob running and follow behind him.
There
Stuff
you go.
like that.
I think that would be good too.
You start doing sweeps. Start doing sweeps, right? You're doing sweeps. Send him out there. Send him out there with McNichols with the lead. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have an O-line that you can really pull a guard or a tackle effectively.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think McNichols is not strong enough for that position, though. I mean, I see what you're saying because we do need somebody in there, but I don't believe we have the right guy on our roster to really play that.
We got to go with what we got, though, right? We got to try something different.
I think the closest one you got is John Bates, right? But here's my issue about John Bates is I agree with Shaq about having Ertz do a chip block before he runs his pattern. But Sennett's not that good at doing that. I mean, he's more of a vertical threat kind of guy, and he's apparently not getting separation from linebackers to make plays. So, like, he's a work in progress. We're missing another body to be able to pull off some of those plays, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a fullback necessarily, although I'd love one because I'm a fullback kind of guy.
I would love to see a fullback in there.
But if you had another blocking tight end to help with that role, I think you could be able to pull off a little bit better. I think we're too thin at the position to be able to do that.
Yeah. Right, it's time to talk special teams.
Special teams.
Let's hear the good and the bad, Shaq.
The bad, missed field goals. What you mean? we had to pick up a dude that was working at the grocery store last week. Like, what you mean?
Was there anything good?
No. Okay, so there was some goods. There were actually a lot of yards gained on punt returns and kickoff returns. So that was definitely a plus, right? That was definitely a plus. But the missed field goals. This is starting to become with Zane Gonzalez, Austin Seaver, it's starting to become a consistent thing, no matter who we got back there kicking the ball. So missed field goals definitely down. Other than that, the coverage was good. Special teams coverage was good. How about that as a highlight? They didn't allow no returns.
Coach, what did you think? High and low?
Yeah, I mean, I see your point on Luke McCaffrey. One thing I'll give him credit for is he can catch the ball like, Zacchaeus can't freaking do it. It's good to see that, Luke McCaffrey can at least catch the freaking ball, right? But I will tell you the highlight that I thought was on punt return blocking, giving him an opportunity to have a window to run through because he does have speed. And, good on him for catching the windows. But, I thought the punt return blocking was pretty good, being able to control those gunners that were coming in at it to be able to allow him to make his first move. Okay, I give that a plus. But I still consider it a work in progress. They still need to keep that going. But I do I like him back there a lot better than I like Zacchaeus. And so and obviously the weakness is the kicking game, right? So it's just almost embarrassing at this point how many kickers we've been through and how every last one when we get up there, they're missing. It's like every week they're missing something.
And you know what? At one point, Cyber was leading the league in points.
Yes,
he was leading the league in points. That was crazy.
Yep.
Then he came back too early from his injury. Yep, came back too early from his injury, and Zane Gonzalez been having a decent.
Is he out for the year? Is Cyber out for the year?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's done for the year.
Or is he still where we can bring him back?
I have to look and see. I think he's done for the year, but we can move forward with Zane Gonzalez. Zane Gonzalez has been handling business.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I think I'm not even going to talk about lows because everyone knows what that is. It is the kicking game, and we're losing games because of it. I want to focus on the highlights for special teams because they did something different this week, and they took McCaffrey out and they put him on kick and punt returns, and he showed up like a light. He hit the holes, he had speed, and he had hands, and I was like, wow, he's good, and we're using his strength. And I like that they put Crowder in on a couple, and I was like, that gum, they're moving that boy around. He's got a hand. No more Zacchaeus drops.
Yeah. Well,
He caught 3 targets for 36 yards. He had hands in the passing game on offense where he just can't seem to catch a punt or a kick return to save his paternity.
I think you just on the Luke train, man. You
Yeah.
just on the Luke train.
We all know that that's your guy.
You've been on the Luke train all year.
We know that that's your guy, man.
I am on the Luke train.
So you did have a little bit of a force with him, but I really think it was the pump blocking that kind of really freed him up a little bit. Yeah, he has to catch the ball, he has to run it. But like I wasn't seeing him making big moves out there.
We didn't have any mistakes. That's my point. We didn't have any mistakes. We didn't drop a ball on a kick or a punt return. We didn't allow one to come against us. I'm giving him a solid B for the game this week.
And Crowder's just working his butt off because he wants another game check.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Crowder's not going to be on his roster next year.
He's not.
He's going to be on his roster next year. But
there's no guarantee he's going to be on the rest of this year.
Wow. All right, mark it. I'm
not going to say that because Noah Brown's gone. So I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but the discussion is relevant.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I want to someone in the draft that's better, a speedster, right?
Now, if we go out and for the playoffs, we pick up another receiver. We pick up OBJ. We pick up Michael Thomas. We pick up Corey Davis, something like that. Then I'm going to question Jameson Crowder on this roster. Then I'm going to have questions.
We are one signing away from Jamison Crowder being off this roster.
Yeah,
he's the cut guy.
De'Ami Brown too.
Yeah.
Well, De'Ami Brown, I think Jamison Crowder will be off this roster before De'Ami Brown will. But I mean, you're right. He's not far behind.
This De'Ami Brown last year for sure.
We have a lot of players in the final year of their contract. Just like this last year, we made like 20 roster moves. I wouldn't be surprised if we make 20 more of this coming off season.
Yeah. You know it's coming, and we have money.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like I said, I want to see where this goes because I wasn't a fan of Dan Quinn. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Dan Quinn. I've been stating for a long time I'm not a fan of Dan Quinn. So I want to see what they do in this offseason. I know it's going to be more Adam Peters than Dan Quinn, but I don't care. Dan Quinn is still – if we don't have a winning season next year, I'm still blaming Dan Quinn.
Well,
because he don't make it. Oh,
we have a winning season this year.
We do.
But
everybody's
safe this year.
No. Sorry. Let me tell you this. No. We're not about to do that with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn had a winning season in Atlanta. I brought this up a bunch of times before. In Dallas, he's had a couple good seasons as defensive coordinator, but he don't make the second half adjustments. Cliff Kingsbury's another one. Now Cliff Kingsbury's 11-25 in the second half of the season. 11 with that game the other day. He's 11-25. He's not making second half adjustments either. Yeah. So I mean, again,
I think that's the biggest coaching lack we have. Is not being able to coming out with a very solid first half game plan and thinking that you're going to ride that ticket all the way through the second half. When other coaches are going, let's figure this one out. What are they doing? I got this. And coming out and adjusting on us when we're not adjusting, And
that's what I'm saying. We're getting all Dan Quinn got right now. I'm just letting you. I know we talk about
assessment.
I'm for real. I think we're getting everything Dan Quinn got.
Still got 9 games. 9, gentlemen. 9. I said 9. We got 9. So let's talk. So there's our review of the game. I want to get it. I don't know if you gentlemen watch, but I watch it. I watch the competition, and literally Philadelphia manhandled the Steelers. Again, it was a pretty tight game in front in the first half. It was a 3-point game. All of a sudden, Jalen Hurts decided he remembered how to play quarterback. Saquon Barkley didn't contribute. It was a passing attack. They came on fire, and I went, "Oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because if Jalen Hurts gets hot in the back half going into the playoffs, we're done." To your point though, right? I'm gonna tell you, I'm comparing this team right now, this Eagles team, to the team they took to the Super Bowl. They have the weapons. Saquon Barkley was the missing piece. The defense is firing on all cylinders. Whatever case may be. Now, and they're healthy.
They're healthy. They're healthy right now. And I would say Detroit was going to be. I guess Detroit was looking real good, but they are injured. They just lost David Montgomery for the year. So Yeah, so
Well, while I give a couple shout outs, Matt Greco's on, Jim Shahan's on. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you all part of the show.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good. And for all those that are out there that are watching, please put your comments in the comment section. This is a participation sport. We'd love to be able to hear from you and be able to say your comments on the air because we are live. And so to go back to your point about a winning season there, Large Sarge, this is the first time since 2012 we've had a winning season. So that's one thing where you got to give the coaching staff some credit because it's been over a decade. It's been a dozen years.
It's positive.
We've seen a record like this.
It's ugly, but it's positive.
It's positive.
It's positive.
All right. So the second game that I paid very strict attention to is what.
I'll go back to the Eagles real quick before you go.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get a chance to comment on it. So like the Eagles thing, this shouldn't surprise anybody. Because like at the beginning of the year, we knew we had predicted that the Eagles were going to win this division. We had predicted that they were going to be strong, and we predicted like Saquon Barkley was going to be a game changer to begin with, right? Everything that we said at the beginning of the season has proven to be true when it comes to the Eagles. We are exactly who we said that they were. They are that team. And I will tell you again, I want a foot stomp. This is an important week for us coming up.
Yeah.
To me, this is our season, this game coming up. Are we for real this year, or are we really rebuilding for next year?
Yeah.
Because this is
it. About that one there. I agree with you, but we're rebuilding for next year. That's what this year is. It always has been that. And for us to think any different is wishing on luck and the good graces of God to carry us through. And that ain't going to happen against Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But, like, for all those who believe that this team can do something this year,
this is the
game that will determine whether or not we have anything in the tank to do anything this year.
We've been close with them the last 5 games. Games that they should have walked away from us on, we held them very close. The last 5 times we've met, it's been a shocker. Like, geez, what did Philly do? Did they go to sleep all week? Because the Skins can be in the game at all. So there's always a chance. That's why we watch. There's always a chance.
Well, this is my thing right here. Again, I said this earlier in the show. This game is a must-win for us. These games that we have move forward because that 7th seed is so close. It's one game away. So if Seattle wins this week, we lose this week, we're out. You know what I'm saying? If the Rams, Seattle play, whatever the case may be, if the Rams say they lose, Seattle wins, they go back to the top, but the Rams are in, we're out.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a must win. This game, the Atlanta game, especially the Atlanta game, because the Atlanta game is Atlanta's still in the hunt. If Atlanta wins tonight, they're in the hunt. I think
we can drop Dallas and if we can drop Philly and beat Dallas and Atlanta. I think we make the wild card. I think we do, no matter what happens.
Hey, Los Sarge, I'm gonna tell you why that's a bad idea. Because I
didn't say it was a good idea. I'm just ideaing it here, but I think we can still sneak in.
Now think about this though. Look at the history of us as an organization from the 90s to now, right? How many winning you in games have we had that we lost? Yeah. I guarantee we have more L's than W's in winning your in games, and that's a fact.
Yes, for a couple decades now.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to go back and say this comes down to the Eagles game next week because if we do, let's say we lose to the Eagles and do exactly what Large Sarge says, and we win out after that, it really won't matter because who will we probably face in a wild card round? It'll probably be the Eagles. And the Eagles will kick our freaking butt again. This to me, it boils down to this week. You either got it or you don't.
Well,
we're going to find out.
Even if we beat them and we still sneak in, we're still going to be bottom of the pile. We're still going to face them again.
But it's a different ball game then because we split games.
Mentally, it's different, right? As well.
It is because then you have a team that believes. If we go in there, we get stomped by the Eagles. This team's not going to believe.
No. Nope.
And believe it, this team was built on hype at the beginning of the year, jumping around, acting all freaking crazy.
And if you think about this though, right? And I'm talking about imagine and right now with us as a winning organization right now, like we have a winning record right now. Imagine how much it's going to deflate the fans if Philly comes down here and wins when we're in the midst of a playoff push. And when the fans get deflated, the team does too. The environment is not the same. A lot of these players have been here around through a lot of losing years, and they know how critical we are of this team. So imagine how deflated it's going to be. The boos that's going to come, all that stuff if they lose to the Eagles this Sunday.
I agree. This is a very emotional team. When you're emotionally on a very, very high, they play well. If they're emotionally down and the fans aren't behind them, they get really down. It is a completely emotional team.
Yeah.
Right, so let's talk about Dallas, who's on a 2-game hot streak right now, and it looks like their offense is starting to click. Rush is finally starting to play a little bit of ball. Yeah, I know. I watched that game and I'm like, lordy. And they're a second half. They suck in the first half and they come alive in the second half. And I'm watching that game going, oh dear Lord, they're going to give us a heart attack palpitation or two in Dallas when we go there.
So I'm gonna tell you something crazy. They are not eliminated from the playoffs.
No, they're still
they are not eliminated.
They're in the hunt. They won the last 2 games.
Can I talk to that for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the probability of Dallas making the playoffs right now is the same probability of us winning the division.
3%.
Now Dallas has to win out, and a whole lot of teams have got to lose for them to make it into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have to win out, and the Eagles have to completely lose out for us to win this division. So, like, it is about the same probability, and that is barely nothing.
Yeah.
So, like, they're really not in the game. We know who's in the game in here, right? So, like,
it's a must win for us to stay in.
Yeah, we need to keep winning and stay in. We know who the real teams that we're going up against, right? We know who the real guys, and Dallas ain't really, even though they're not mathematically eliminated, my guess is they'll be mathematically eliminated this week.
They should be. I forget who they play, but they should be.
I can tell you a team that we're not talking about either. Even though we have the breaker over them, a team that we're not talking about that's in a hunt right now that's actually this 7-7. No, the Cardinals.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
We're not talking about the Cardinals. The Cardinals and the Seahawks are 8-6, right? They 8-6. The Cardinals are 7-7. Falcons are 6-7. 49 are 6-8. Cowboys 6-8. Saints are 5-9, right? So right now, if the Seahawks have that was week 15. I don't know who they have coming. I gotta look to see who they have coming up. But we got the Eagles and the rest of these guys. I know the Packers schedule is easy.
Very
closing out. It's very easy closing out.
Oh,
yeah. So they're looking at locking down that 6 seed. Their schedule is easy for the rest of the year. We talked about that last week. The Packers schedule is very, very easy going out. Seattle, they got dog fights left. Cardinals got dog fights left. Falcons still got dog fights. They got to play us again. They got other teams they got to play. They got to play us. They got to play other teams and stuff like that. But that Arizona team, their schedule is not as tough either. So, hey.
It's going to be a hell of an end of the season, isn't it?
Well, here's what I think. I think Dallas is going to be eliminated this coming week because they got to play the Bucs.
I'm going with the Bucs on that game for sure.
Yeah, so I think Dallas is going to be done after this next week, and we can stop talking about them because you know.
Well, it's still important to talk about it because we still got to beat them for us to be in.
That's true, but at least they won't be in the hunt anymore.
Yeah.
And it's one less team that we have to worry about being on our heels, right? So I mean, Saints are already eliminated. So I'm trying to think like what other kind of game is out there that's going to be interesting to watch this coming week. Obviously, the Commanders Eagles is going to be a big one, but
yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm telling
you, the Seahawks Vikes game is going to be an interesting one to watch.
We'll see how they do against the Bears tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Seahawks and the Vikings. Oh yeah. That's a good one.
That Seahawks Vikes one's going to be a real good one.
That's a must win for Seattle.
It is. If they drop that one, they're hurting.
They hurting.
So yeah, for sure.
That is a legit must win for them. And I hope they don't win. I hope they lose the rest of their games. Get off our heels.
Get off our heels.
And we need the Giants to bow up, grow a set of hairy balls, and beat the Falcons this week.
Yeah, yes.
We need that to happen. Listen, it needs to happen. The Giants need to do their job.
Yes.
The Giants are really struggling bad, man.
Yeah.
The Giants are really struggling bad.
Now, look who the Cardinals got this week. Cardinals got the Panthers.
Yep. See
what I'm saying? Like these are the teams. Them, and let me see who the Packers got. The Packers got the Saints. See what I'm saying? They got easy schedules finishing out.
Yep.
So it's like
for us, it's tough.
It's for us.
The Eagles will be tough for anyone. I mean, I'm discounting that, but I ain't counting on us beating Dallas. They beat us at home. We got to go to their town, and they're on a streak.
Yeah. So Jack says if the Vikings lose the last 3, we win out, and Green Bay loses 1, we're the number 5 seed.
Number 5.
That's not a big jump, you know. I have a feeling we're going to be a very low seed. I think we'll probably be the 7th seed. We could probably squeeze in there, which means we will probably end up playing Philly. And if we don't really compete this coming week to show like, hey, we're in the ballpark with them, like we get blown out, like it really doesn't matter if we're going to playoffs or not. We're going to be a one and done.
Now the Packers in week 17, the Packers have the Vikings.
Yes, that's going to be a game to watch too.
Yep. They have them. Let me see. The Cardinals and the Rams play each other week 17.
Yeah,
and we play the Falcons. So everything is coming down to these last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting year. So
the NFL design schedules like that anyway. They want these later games to matter. Yeah. So they've been trying more and more to use their MIT formulas to try to get these kinds of matchups.
I just wish they'd stop scheduling the Skins and Dallas game for the last week of the year. Was it been that way the last 3 years?
They keep trying to do that because they want the last week of the season to matter.
I'm going to be watching.
That have been irrelevant. It doesn't.
I'm going to be watching the game on a cruise. I'm going on a cruise for New Year's, so I'll be out there watching the game.
You going to be on a cruise for New Year's?
Yeah.
Where are you going this time?
This one is going to Cabo. I'm leaving from LA, so it's going to Cabo and Ensenada.
Nice.
Okay.
Ensenada on the beach.
I want to hear that you're scuba diving. If you're not scuba diving, man, that don't matter, man.
I've already been looking at it in Cabo.
There you go.
There you go.
Lars and I are going on a cruise in March, and we're scuba diving.
Operation Blow Bubbles going on.
Operation Blow Bubbles. That's it.
You got to join the operation.
I need to.
Op order there.
We didn't send him the op order, man. You need to come with us, man, in March and blow bubbles, man.
Man, speaking of the op order, how the heck did Army lose to Navy?
For real.
Thank you for bringing that up.
You were so heavily favored for that game.
I was beside myself.
7.5 point favorites, man.
Yeah, which is huge in Army Navy.
I was like, what? Army did everything they could to give that game to Navy.
Yeah.
And we did.
And Navy took advantage and had a great game.
I had to do so many push-ups.
Midshipmen. They had a great game.
You hold push-ups?
I had to do so many push-ups on Saturday.
You haven't done that many push-ups since basic training, have you?
That game was so stressful. I had to do lots of pull-ups.
I had to go on live. I was on Facebook Live. I was on Facebook Live doing push-ups for people or doing FaceTime people doing push-ups.
That's what we need on our channel. We need to start having it where we have some live push-up sessions.
Yeah.
So when we're long.
I might have to call a sub in. I can't get down. I think I literally have to do a 2-inch push-up because of my belly. Boing, boing, boing. I'm like Kung Fu Panda out there.
All right, guys. Well, hey, man.
Wait, Coach. Wait.
I'm ready to call this thing. It's Monday Night Football now. All right, go ahead.
Got to have a prediction for this week. Philly or the Skins? What's the spread, Coach?
I was say, you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
You go first.
I'm gonna go 23, 18 Philly.
23-18.
Yeah, 23-18 Philly. I think it's gonna be we're gonna score a touchdown hot first drive of the game, first couple drives of the game, and then it's gonna be a field goal marathon from that point forward.
Wow, no second half touch. Wow, okay.
Yeah, no second half touchdowns. 23-19.
Matt
like that.
Greca is saying it's going to be Philly. What do you say, Coach?
I'm going to say like 34-17 Philly.
Woo!
I think they're going to kick our freaking butt, man.
I'm feeling you on that, and I'm gonna actually. You're not gonna believe this.
Shaq fall out of his chair, man.
You're not gonna believe this. 42-20.
I think we're gonna get our butts spanked.
42-21, Philly.
Are you writing these things down? Who's writing these down? Are you writing these down?
Oh, all of our good fans out there have hung with us. Jack and Matt and Jim and Lisa.
We're all Commanders fans, and nobody's thinking that we're going to win.
We're all out there watching. This is a game where I'm gonna need a two fist for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna have a sorrow cup on the side so I can cry my tears of sorrow.
Well, I'm going up there to tailgate, so I'll be up there.
Boy.
I'll be up at the field. Depending on how I feel, I might step into the game.
Is that a 1 o'clock game or a 4 o'clock game?
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's a 1 o'clock game. Oh yeah. Hey, thank you for your support, Matthew. Man, appreciate you, man. We try to be as entertaining as possible.
There you go. Yeah, I think 34-17, and I'm going to stick to that. I mean, I know it sounds nasty, but like, I don't have confidence in our O-line. Our offense is playing like dirt right now. It's basically all we got is Terry McLaurin.
So
we don't really have anything else going for us.
Calling 17 and 18 points for us. Both of you are really close. I'm calling 21. I think we'll get at least 3 TDs.
I don't think we're going to score 1 touchdown. And it's gonna be a whole bunch of field goals, man. And then I'm telling you,
kicker.
Hey man, listen, it's gonna be a whole bunch
of field goals without a kicker.
It's gonna be Jaden Daniels kicking the ball.
Yeah, Zane Gonzalez should be back.
So
yeah, I don't.
It's gonna be good. All right, we'll recap it next week. That's all. Yeah. That's all I had for tonight, gentlemen.
All right, well that's good, man. Hey, we love it, man. It's great seeing you, Large Sarge. It's great having you, good old Shaq.
Yeah.
All those who watched tonight, thank you all for like Matt and Jack and Jim for commenting tonight. Got the Rays, hail, flag flying.
Everyone needs to pray for the next 6 days. You need to pray. If you're not praying, you're losing. You need to pray for this team because they're gonna need it.
Man, we need a Washington miracle. To go up against Philly this week. I don't think it's going to be pretty though, man. We have to watch with like hands over our face, but our eyes going by in between our fingers. It's going to be hard.
If the game gets to a point where I feel like I need to turn it off, I'm going to do something. I'm going to leave the house. I'm just saying.
All right, everybody, it is football side, baby. We're out of here. Peace. Great show tonight, guys. Great show. Yeah.